Alright guys, so today is finally the day. We're heading over to the dyno. So hopefully everything goes good and nothing blows up. So yeah, it's about an hour and a half away. I brought a few other things. Hopefully I don't need anything, but I just brought some random things for like the vacuum and stuff like that, just in case I might have a vacuum leak or anything like that we find on the dyno, but hopefully not. I've already kind of gone through and tightened everything up, but definitely just bringing a few extra things and some tools just to make sure everything goes good. So. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video right here. I just want to mention I didn't get the best footage when I was at the dyno, so most of this is the best footage I could get when I was there. Audio also wasn't the best because it was kind of loud there with all the fans and everything else going, so I didn't get much talking when I was there, so I'm just going to pretty much voice over some of the parts that might need some questioning. So first off, right here at this point, we were trying to load the car onto the dyno, and I don't know if you guys could hear the thunk that happened, and to find out, that was my exhaust hitting the ramps when it was going up. So this exhaust that I have on here is the 3-inch Turbo Kits exhaust, and it just generally hangs a little bit lower than the normal stock exhaust just because the diameter is a little bigger. And also, I don't think the mounts are exactly the same as the stock. So, but luckily, I'm pretty sure they've encountered this before. They were able to push up on the exhaust while they were able to drive the car onto the ramps. So that was a good way for them to get the car on and off the dyno, was to just push up on the exhaust because there is a lot of wiggle room, and then allow the car to just drive up on. And pretty much, we did about like 4 or 5 dyno runs, and you'll see I do try to mention some numbers. The screen was so blurry when I went to go put the camera on it, so you really don't see the dyno numbers on the screen. I do try to say them out loud when I do look at the screen, but I know in the first poll we were about like 170 something. I was only 173. Or 6.
Take a little bit of timing, open it.
Okay.
Put less torque. So the clutch slips.
Okay.
I can get more power if you want, but it slips.
If we can, yeah, I would like to. I mean, I got a clutch. I got to replace it. So I didn't think it would be that bad. Yeah. 208. Yeah. But yeah, 210. I guess that's okay.
I had a feeling when you guys run out of clutch. That was my concern before I got in the car.
Alright guys, so it's after the dyno, and I wish I would have got a little bit better footage at the dyno, but I tried to get as much as I could, and I realized the footage looking at the screen for the dyno charts and stuff like that really never showed up good on camera. But we did about 3 or 4 good pulls as he was trying to tune it, and the first pull, and remember too, he was tuning off of the stock ECU, so he had to pretty much retune everything and relearn everything. So I don't have that piggyback harness in here anymore, which is honestly nice because it's not in my way anymore and it looks so much cleaner. But after the couple runs that he did, we did have a big problem with my clutch. The clutch kept slipping, so that was one of the biggest problems I had, was a slipping clutch. So we couldn't push the car as much as possible. Luckily, we did have a big problem with fuel, as in we had too much fuel going to the engine, so that hopefully won't be a worry for me once we try to go back to the dyno again. So I definitely have to replace my clutch. If you guys have any recommendations of what to replace it with, let me know. But to let you guys know the final dyno tune numbers, I'll see if I have any pictures of it or not, but if I don't, the final tune that he stopped at was about 208 horsepower and 198 foot-pounds of torque. So not bad, but nowhere near what I was looking for. So I was hoping for a 250 minimum, but obviously we couldn't push it anymore because of the clutch. So as soon as I replace the clutch, we're definitely going to head back there and get everything all situated and figured out. But on my way home after the dyno tune, I was doing a couple pulls and I realized I wasn't building up boost pressure anymore, and so I brought it in my garage and jacked it up just to see what was going on. And then I did find a decent boost leak down there. One of the intercooling couplings came out from the actual tubing, so it was just blowing air right out that way. So luckily that should be a quick fix, and we can get this thing back on the road. But I do wish we could hit more power, but hopefully in the next couple videos I will get a new clutch and we'll throw that in here and get back on the dyno. So, but what was also nice too, I mean, I got the factory ECU tuned, as well as I don't have any more check engine lights for any cats or anything like that, luckily, so that's always a good plus. But definitely need to fix this boost leak. So Hopping under here, nothing out of the ordinary here. Everything looks good. As soon as I got right here, this is when I noticed this coupling came out from here. So I'm gonna have to undo this and try to get this back in there. I think what happened too was this has one of those clamps on it, as well as it's mounted to the one of the holes on the engine, and I think it's just not letting it flex enough, and then it just popped off the thing. So I definitely, this intercooling piping is definitely taking a beating, rubbing up against everything. So I'm definitely gonna have to watch out that I don't rub a hole through any of these pipes. Like I said, I ended up putting some rubber silicone on this side because it was hitting the subframe, but here I'm noticing it's hitting a part of the engine. So definitely gonna have to try to figure something out too, so I don't rub a hole into this. But right now I can feel some deep gouges in here. But let me try to fix this, get this ready, and then we can go back on the road and do a couple pulls. But the car feels about the same right now. It doesn't feel, I mean, it feels different because it's tuned slightly differently, but it feels, power-wise, it feels about the same because we really didn't push the car too hard because of the clutch. So sooner or later, I'm gonna have to pull the transmission and put a new clutch on here. So that should be fun to do. But right now, let's just try to get this boost leak fixed and back on the road. Alright, so we'll let the car warm up for just a little bit and make sure we're hitting boost. So, but it's nice too now, when I went to go get the tune, they also got rid of all the check engine lights for no cats and stuff like that. So that's also a good thing. But, so I don't have a flashing light anymore. Because after I replaced my O2 sensor, like 2 days later, I was driving and I got another check engine light. And the check engine light, I went to go read the codes. I was like, oh crap, I hope it's not the O2 sensor again. And then I got a catalytic converter code. So, but they got that deleted, so it's not on my dash anymore. Alright, so driving just a little bit. I am building boost, so that is a good thing. I am building boost, so nothing is broken there, but definitely we'll have to keep an eye out on that. I did make sure I tightened up the clamps pretty good, so that way hopefully they won't fall off again. But one other thing I noticed too at the dyno, the engine mounts on this car, I'm pretty sure they're probably worn out at 130 something thousand miles. So those might need to be upgraded soon as well, because I think too, one of the biggest things is the engine is just moving back and forth way too much, causing a little bit like too much flex on the intercooling piping and stuff like that. So definitely we'll have to look into upgrading that too. So I don't know what happened. I was doing a decent pull and my check engine light came on. Not sure what it is, but we'll check it when we get home. I don't have a reader right now. Hopefully it's just something stupid. So it also seems like my boost is a little bit more than what it was before. Before I was maxing out at like 6.7-ish. Now I'm doing about 7.4. But definitely now I'm gonna have to upgrade the clutch so we can get some more power to this car. Because he kind of detuned it a little bit, so that way it wasn't slipping as bad. Because he bumped it like, because we hit like almost 210. He bumped it down to like 200 or something like that, just to help the clutch not slip as bad. But definitely we'll upgrade the clutch and we'll go back and definitely make way more power. So I'll have enough fuel to hit close to 300 horsepower. It's like when variable valve timing kicks on, it's like holy. Alright, so I just got done doing a couple pulls. I mean, everything looks good. I just cleared the check engine light, but I went to go read the check engine lights, and what I got was this P0101 mass airflow circuit range performance problem. I don't know if this has anything to do with I mean, obviously it's the mass airflow sensor, there's a problem, but I don't know if this is meaning that it just needs to be tuned a little bit better to get rid of that, because remember now that I have the factory ECU being tuned for the turbo rather than any piggyback harness or anything like that. So that will be some other minor little tuning issues here and there because of that reason. So hopefully this, if it does keep coming back, I'm gonna mention it to him and see if we can try to fix that problem, because Ruben, the guy who helped tune this car, he did say if I have any problems, just let him know, and he'll help me try to figure it out. So, but now, the car feels like it seems like he definitely did tune, like first gear. It does not slip anymore in first gear, because before I used to always slip in first gear, like my clutch would slip in first gear. I think he kind of eased that out a little bit, because it's like I don't think mashing the throttle, it just the way it's tuned, it kind of leads into boost rather than giving you all the boosts at once, which I like and I don't like at the same time, because obviously I'd like to get all the power at once, but doing it more linear will make it a lot more safer and healthier for the engine, as well as the whole drivetrain itself. But also too, like I said, boost, I'm hitting 7.4 pretty much, which is almost 1 psi more than what I was doing on the base tune, which is good, because and the car's handling it perfectly fine. And definitely too, one thing that the dyno, like I said, I didn't get good pictures of the dyno, but this was the last dyno, I believe this was one of the last dyno runs we did, and I was hitting, I think, 204 horsepower and 194, no, I believe I was hitting 204 horsepower and 208 pound-feet of torque. So this car is producing more torque than horsepower, which is honestly nice, because you feel the torque more than you feel the horsepower, so that is a good thing. But with it being a more torquier engine, there is a lot of motor moving, so I'm definitely gonna have to look into getting some new motor mounts and stuff like that, as well as I have to look into getting a new clutch. But it definitely pulls so much harder than it did with the base tune when I'm at higher RPMs, like 4,500 up. Like, this thing pulls like so good. Anything under that, I mean, like I said, it feels a little bit better than a normal Corolla, but once boost hits around 4,000 RPMs, I mean, even in second gear, this car like feels good in second gear. So, and as well as he adjusts a few things with like timing and I believe variable valve timing too, because like once I hit like 5,500, almost 6,000 RPM, 5,500, 6,000, like it gets a whole nother jet of power, and it feels amazing. So, but with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.